Hello everyone, and welcome to today's session. In this video, we'll begin with an important topic from NCERT Class 10. It is useful for competitive exams: light, reflection and refraction. Reflection of light. Reflection, the process by which an object sends back the light that falls on it, allowing us to see. Laws of reflection: 1. Angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. 2. The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Plane mirror image, always virtual and erect, same size as the object, distance behind the mirror equals distance in front, and laterally inverted. Mirror type: reflecting surface. Key feature: concave, curved inwards, towards the center. C. Converging mirror, light rays meet at F. Mirror type: reflecting surface. Key feature: convex, curved outwards, diverging mirror, reflected rays appear to come from F. Key terms: pole, P. Center of the reflecting surface. Center of curvature, C. Center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part. Radius of curvature, R. Distance PC. Principal axis, straight line passing through P and C. Principal focus, F. The point on the principal axis where parallel rays meet, concave, or appear to diverge from, convex, after reflection. Focal length, distance PF. Relationship, for small apertures. Uses: concave, torches, searchlights, headlights, powerful parallel beams, shaving mirrors, dentist's mirrors, solar furnaces, concentrate sunlight. Convex, rear view, wing, mirrors in vehicles, gives erect, diminished image and a wider field of view. New Cartesian sign convention, for mirrors object always to the left. All distances measured from the pole, P. Right of P, positive, plus, left of P, negative. Above principal axis, positive, plus, below principal axis, negative. Mirror formula: where is object distance, is image distance, and is focal length. Magnification: O negative real and inverted image. O positive virtual and erect image. Refraction of light. Refraction, the change in the direction of propagation of light when it travels obliquely from one transparent medium to another, due to a change in the speed of light. Laws of refraction: 1. The incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal at the interface all lie in the same plane. 2. Snell's law: the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is a constant for a given color and pair of media. 3. Refractive index, a measure of the extent of change in direction, bending, of light. 4. Relative refractive index, refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. 5. Absolute refractive index, refractive index with respect to vacuum/air, is speed of light in air/vacuum. 6. Optical density, related to refractive index. Optically denser medium has a higher and light is slower. Rarer denser, light slows down and bends towards the normal. Denser rarer, light speeds up and bends away from the normal. Lens type: shape. Key feature: convex, double convex, thicker in the middle, thinner at edges. Converging lens, focuses parallel rays, concave, double concave, thicker at edges, thinner in diverging lens, parallel rays. The middle appear to diverge. Key terms for lenses: centers of curvature, 2 centers of the spheres forming the lens surfaces. Principal axis, line passing through and. Optical center, O. Central point of the lens, ray passing through O goes undeviated. Principal focus, 2 foci. For a convex lens, is where parallel rays converge. For a concave lens, is where parallel rays appear to diverge from. Focal length, distance of. Convex lens is positive, plus. Concave lens is negative. Image formation by convex lens, forms both real/inverted, most positions, and virtual/erect/enlarged, when object is between and. Image formation by concave lens, always forms virtual, erect, and diminished images. Lens formula: magnification, sign convention for is the same as for mirrors, negative is real/inverted, positive is virtual/erect. Power of a lens, the ability of a lens to converge or diverge light rays. It is the reciprocal of the focal length. SI unit, dioptra, d. When is in meters. Power of combined lenses, the human eye and the colorful world. 1. Human eye acts like a camera, helps us see the world and colors. Cornea, transparent membrane, does most of the refraction. Iris, controls size of pupil. Pupil, regulates amount of light entering the eye. Retina, light-sensitive screen where image is formed, sends signals to brain via optic nerve. Adaptation, pupil contracts in bright light and expands in dim light. 2. Power of accommodation, ability of eye lens to change focal length using ciliary muscles. See distant objects, muscles relaxed, rightward arrow, lens thin, rightward arrow, focal length increases. See nearby objects, muscles contract, rightward arrow, lens thick, rightward arrow, focal length decreases. Near point, 25 centimeters for normal eye. Far point, infinity. 3. Defects of vision, myopia, nearsightedness, sees near objects clearly, distant objects appear blurred. Image forms in front of retina. Causes, excessive curvature of lens/elongated eyeball. Correction, concave lens. Hypermetropia, farsightedness, sees distant objects clearly, near objects blurred. Image forms behind retina. Causes, long focal length/small eyeball. Correction, convex lens. Presbyopia, age-related decrease in accommodation. Near point shifts away. Correction, bifocal lenses, concave plus convex. 4. Eye donation, eyes can be donated after death, within 4 to 6 hours. No disfigurement, takes 10 to 15 minutes. 1 pair of eyes can help up to 4 people. People with spectacles, diabetics, hypertension, etc. can donate. Not allowed if deceased had AIDS, hepatitis B/C, rabies, etc. 5. Refraction through prism, light bends while passing through a prism and emerges deviated. Produces lateral shift. 6. Dispersion of light, splitting of white light into VIBGYOR. Red bends least, violet bends most. First explained by Isaac Newton. 7. Rainbow formed due to dispersion, internal reflection, and refraction by raindrops. Appears opposite the sun. 8. Atmospheric refraction effects, wavering of objects, due to hot, turbulent air. Twinkling of stars, fluctuating refractive index of atmosphere. Planets do not twinkle, they appear as extended sources. Early sunrise and delayed sunset, sun appears 2 minutes early/late. 9. Tyndall effect, scattering of light by colloidal particles. Makes light beams visible in dust, smoke, mist, forest canopy. Color of scattered light depends on particle size. 10. Color of the sky, sky appears blue because fine particles scatter blue light more than red. Sky appears black at high altitudes due to less scattering. Red light is least scattered, rightward arrow used in danger signals. 11. Color of sun at sunrise/sunset, sun appears reddish because shorter wavelengths, blue, are scattered away in long atmospheric path. Electricity, 1. Electric current and circuit, electric circuit, a continuous, closed path for current flow. Electric current, I, rate of flow of charge equals unit, ampere, A, rightward arrow 1A equals 1C/S, 1 mA equals 10^3A, 1 μA equals 10^6A, charge of electron equals 1.6 times 10^19 C. Current direction is taken opposite to electron flow. Ammeter, measures current, connected in series. 2. Electric potential and potential difference, charges flow when there is a potential difference, electric pressure. Potential difference, V equals unit, volt, V, rightward arrow 1V equals 1J/C. Voltmeter, measures potential difference, connected in parallel. 3. Circuit diagram symbols, standard symbols used for cell, battery, switch, bulb, resistor, variable resistor, ammeter, voltmeter, etc. 4 Ohm's law at constant temperature, proportionality or equals resistance, are property of a conductor to oppose current. Unit, ohm, omega, if V equals 1 V and I equals 1 A rightward arrow R equals 1 omega 5. Resistance depends on, 1 length, L, rightward arrow proportionality 2. Area of cross-section, A, rightward arrow proportionality 1 3. Nature of material combined, equals resistivity, rho material property, unit, omega m, metals/alloys, low resistivity rightward arrow good conductors insulators, very high resistivity, rubber, glass, 6. Combination of resistors series same current through each resistor. Equals 1 plus 2 plus 3 total resistance increases. Parallel same voltage across each branch. 1 1 1 1 equals plus 1 2 3 total resistance decreases. 7 Heating effect of electric current in a resistor, electrical energy rightward arrow heat energy. Joule's law of heating, heat, H, proportionality O2, square of current, OR, resistance, OT, time, used in heaters, irons, toasters, ovens, kettles, etc. Bulb filament, tungsten, high melting point, filled with inert gases, argon/nitrogen. 8 Electric fuse safety device to prevent excessive current. Made of low melting point alloy. Placed in series with appliance. If current exceeds limit rightward arrow fuse melts rightward arrow circuit breaks. Domestic ratings, 1A, 2A, 3A, 5A, 10A, etc. 9 Electric power rate of energy consumption, equals 2 equals unit, watt, W, rightward arrow 1 W equals 1 V times 1A, 1 kilowatt equals 1000 W, electrical energy, unit, kilowatt hour, rightward arrow known as 1 unit of electricity. 1 kilowatt hour equals 3.6 times 106 J. Magnetic effects of electric current 1. Magnetic field and field lines. Magnetic field, region around a magnet where its force can be felt. Has magnitude plus direction. Field lines, O emerge from north and enter south. O inside magnet, south rightward arrow north. O always closed curves. O closer lines equals stronger field. O never intersect. 2 Magnetic field due to electric current, A. Straight conductor current carrying wire produces concentric circles of magnetic field. Field strength decreases as distance increases. Right hand thumb rule. Thumb rightward arrow direction of current. Fingers rightward arrow direction of magnetic field. B. Circular loop circles become larger away from wire, at center appear straight. All turns add up rightward arrow field becomes stronger. For n turns, field equals n times. C. Solenoid coil of many circular turns. Acts like a bar magnet. Field inside is strong, uniform, straight lines. Used to make electromagnets. 3 Force on current carrying conductor current in a magnetic field experiences a force. Fleming's left-hand rule, O first finger rightward arrow magnetic field, O second finger rightward arrow current, O thumb rightward arrow force, motion, 4. Magnetism in medicine. Electric impulses in body create weak magnetic fields, heart, brain. MRI uses magnetic fields to create internal body images. 5 Electric motor converts electrical rightward arrow mechanical energy. Uses split ring commutator to reverse current. Commercial motors use, O electromagnet, O many turns, O soft iron core, armature, 6. Electromagnetic induction changing magnetic field rightward arrow induces current, Faraday. Fleming's right-hand rule, O first finger rightward arrow field, O thumb rightward arrow motion, O middle finger rightward arrow induced current. Galvanometer detects current. 7 Electric generator converts mechanical rightward arrow electrical energy. AC generator, produces alternating current. DC generator, produces direct current. AC preferred for long-distance transmission. 8 Domestic electric circuit. Live wire, red, neutral wire, black, equals 220 V. Earth wire, green, for safety, prevents electric shock. Appliances connected in parallel. 2 circuits, 15A, heavy load, 5A, light load. 9 fuse and overloading. Fuse melts and breaks circuit when current becomes high. Causes of overloading: 1 short circuit, live, neutral contact, 2. High supply voltage, 3. Too many devices on one socket. Sources of energy: good source of energy. A good energy source should do large work per unit mass/volume, be easily available, easy to store and transport, economical and environment friendly. 1. Conventional sources of energy: A. Fossil fuels, coal and petroleum. Rightward arrow. Non-renewable. Burning releases CO2, SO2, NO2. Rightward arrow. Causes pollution and acid rain. Need to use efficiently. B. Thermal power plant. Fossil fuels burnt. Rightward arrow. Heat. Rightward arrow. Steam. Rightward arrow. Turbine. Rightward arrow. Electricity. Usually located near coal/oil fields. C. Hydro power plant. High dams store water. Rightward arrow. Falling water runs turbine. Converts potential energy of water into electricity. 2 improvements in conventional sources: A. Biomass, wood, cow dung, agricultural waste. Low efficiency, produces smoke. Charcoal burns better, cleaner. B. Biogas, gobar gas, formed by anaerobic decomposition of cow dung. Contains 75% methane, smokeless and good fuel. Slurry. Rightward arrow. Excellent manure. C. Wind energy. Windmills convert wind energy to electricity. Advantages: renewable, no fuel cost. Limitations: needs strong winds, greater than 15 km/h, large land area, high initial cost. 3 non-conventional/alternative sources: A. Solar energy. Solar cookers, black surface plus glass cover. Solar cells. Rightward arrow. Convert sunlight to electricity, 0.5 to 1 V per cell. Used in satellites, calculators, remote areas. Costly due to high-grade silicon and silver. Solar constant 1.4 kW/m superscript 2 at Earth's atmosphere. B. Energy from the sea. Tidal energy. Rightward arrow. Uses rise and fall of sea levels. Wave energy. Rightward arrow. Uses kinetic energy of sea waves. Ocean thermal energy, OTE. Rightward arrow. Uses temperature difference, greater than or equal to 20 degrees C, between surface and deep water. C. Geothermal energy. Uses heat from Earth's hot spots, hot springs, steam. Few suitable sites. D. Nuclear energy. Nuclear fission. Heavy nucleus, U-235, Pu-239, splits. Rightward arrow. Large energy. Used in nuclear reactors. Major issues: radioactive waste, leakage risk. Nuclear fusion. Light nuclei fuse, H isotopes. Rightward arrow. He occurs in sun, requires extremely high temperature and pressure. Used in hydrogen bombs. 4 renewable vs non-renewable. Renewable can be replenished. Examples: solar, wind, hydropower, biomass, geothermal. Non-renewable finite, will deplete. Examples: coal, petroleum, natural gas, nuclear fuel. Chemical reactions and equations. 1. Chemical equations. Chemical reaction. Rightward arrow represented using chemical equation. Reactants, substances that react. Products, substances formed. Word equation. Example: magnesium plus oxygen. Rightward arrow. Magnesium oxide. Chemical equation, Mg plus O2. Rightward arrow. MgO. Balanced equation follows law of conservation of mass. Rightward arrow. Atoms must be equal on both sides. Unbalanced equation equals skeletal equation. Example: balanced Zn plus H2 SO4. Rightward arrow. ZnSO4 plus H2. Hit and trial method used for balancing. Physical states: S, L, G, AQ. 2 types of chemical reactions: A. Combination reaction. 2 or more substances. Rightward arrow. 1 product. Examples: CaO plus H2O. Rightward arrow. CaO, 2C plus O2 rightward arrow CO2 2H2 plus O2 rightward arrow 2H2O. Exothermic reactions release heat. Examples: burning fuel, CH4 plus 2O2 rightward arrow CO2 plus 2H2O. Respiration compost formation. B. Decomposition reaction 1 compound breaks rightward arrow simpler products. Types: thermal decomposition CaCO3 rightward arrow CaO plus CO2 2 FeSO4 rightward arrow Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3 2 Pb, NO3, 2 rightward arrow 2 PbO plus 4 NO2 plus O2 photodecomposition 2 AgCl rightward arrow 2 Ag plus Cl2, white to gray, 2 AgBr rightward arrow 2 Ag plus Br2. Endothermic reaction absorbs heat/energy. C. Displacement reaction. A more reactive element displaces a less reactive element. Examples: Fe plus CuSO4 rightward arrow FeSO4 plus CuZn plus CuSO4 rightward arrow ZnSO4 plus CuD, double displacement reaction exchange of ions between reactants. Example: Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 rightward arrow BaSO4 downward arrow plus 2 NaCl, white precipitate rightward arrow BaSO4, precipitation reaction insoluble solid formed during reaction. 3. Oxidation and reduction. Oxidation gaining oxygen/losing hydrogen. Reduction losing oxygen/gaining hydrogen. Examples: 2Cu plus O2 rightward arrow 2CuO, Cu oxidized, CuO plus H2 rightward arrow Cu plus H2O, CuO reduced, ZnO plus C rightward arrow Zn plus Co-MnO2 plus 4HCl rightward arrow MnCl2 plus 2H2O plus Cl2. Redox reaction rightward arrow oxidation plus reduction occur together. 4. Effects of oxidation in everyday life. A. Corrosion. Metal reacts with moisture/air. Examples: rusting of iron, tarnishing of silver, green coating on copper. B. Rancidity. Oxidation of fats/oils rightward arrow bad smell/taste. Prevention: airtight containers, antioxidants, nitrogen flushed chip packets, acids, bases, and salts. Short summary notes. 1. Indicators: acids, sour, turn blue, litmus rightward arrow red. Bases: bitter, soapy, turn red, litmus rightward arrow blue. Natural indicators: litmus, turmeric, red cabbage, petals, hydrangea, petunia, geranium. Synthetic indicators: methyl orange, phenolphthalein. Olfactory indicators: substances whose smell changes in acids/bases. 2 reactions of acids and bases. A. With metals: acid plus metal rightward arrow salt plus hydrogen gas, base plus metal rightward arrow salt plus hydrogen. Example: 2 NaOH plus Zn rightward arrow Na2ZnO2 plus H2. B. With metal carbonate/hydrogen carbonates, metal carbonate/bicarbonate plus acid rightward arrow salt plus CO2 plus water. O. Example: Na2CO3 plus 2HCl rightward arrow 2 NaCl plus H2O plus CO2C. Neutralization: acid plus base rightward arrow salt plus water. O. NaOH plus HCl rightward arrow NaCl plus H2OD. Metallic oxides: metal oxide plus acid rightward arrow salt plus water. Basic oxides: E. Nonmetallic oxides: nonmetallic oxide plus base rightward arrow salt plus water. Acidic oxides: OCa, O, 2 plus CO2 rightward arrow CaCO3 plus H2O3. Acids and bases in water: acids give H, Aq, or H3O ions in water. Bases give O, Aq, ions in water. Alkalis: water-soluble bases, NaOH, KOH. Dissolving acids/bases in water is highly exothermic. Dilution reduces concentration of H3O or O ions. 4. pH scale. pH range, 0 to 14. pH 7 rightward arrow acid, pH equals 7 rightward arrow neutral, pH 7 rightward arrow base. More H rightward arrow lower pH, more O rightward arrow higher pH. Universal indicator gives color change for pH. Importance of pH: human body, 7.0 to 7.8. Acid rain, pH 5.6. Tooth decay, starts below pH 5.5 and acids neutralize excess stomach acid. B. Sting rightward arrow acid, treat with base, baking soda. Nettle sting rightward arrow methanoic acid, dock leaf neutralizes. 5 salts families of salts same positive/negative ion rightward arrow same family, example NaCl, Na2SO4. pH of salts strong acid plus strong base rightward arrow neutral strong acid plus weak base rightward arrow acidic weak acid plus strong base rightward arrow basic 6. Chemicals from common salt, NaCl, A, sodium hydroxide, NaOH, made by chloralkali process, 2 NaCl plus 2 H2O rightward arrow 2 NaOH plus Cl2 plus H2B, bleaching powder, CaOCl2, made from chlorine plus slaked lime uses, bleaching, water treatment, disinfectant. C. Baking soda, NaHCO3, made from NaCl, H2O, CO2, NH3 uses, baking powder, antacids, fire extinguishers. D. Washing soda, Na2CO310H2O, made by recrystallizing sodium carbonate uses, glass/soap/paper industry, cleaning agent, removes hardness of water. 7. Water of crystallization fixed number of water molecules in salt crystals. CuSO4 5H2O rightward arrow blue, on heating becomes white CuSO4. Gypsum, CaSO4 2H2O plaster of Paris, CaSO4 1/2H2O, formed by heating gypsum. Metals and nonmetals, 1. Physical properties metals shiny, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous. Good conductors of heat and electricity. High melting and boiling points, exceptions, gallium, cesium. Examples, Fe, Cu, Al, Mg, Na, Zn, Pb. Nonmetals generally dull, non-malleable, non-ductile. Poor conductors, except graphite. Exist as solids or gases, except liquid bromine. Examples, C, S, O, H, I. Exceptions mercury, only liquid metal. Iodine, non-metal but lustrous. Diamond, hardest natural substance, non-metal. Graphite, conducts electricity. Alkali metals, Na, K soft, low density, low MP. 2 Chemical properties of metals reaction with oxygen metals plus oxygen rightward arrow metal oxides. Some oxides are amphoteric, Al2O3, ZNO. Reactive metals, Na, K, catch fire in air rightward arrow stored in kerosene. Less reactive metals, Ag, O, do not react. Reaction with water very reactive metals, Na, K react violently with cold water. Ca reacts slowly, Mg reacts with hot water. Al, Zn, Fe, react only with steam. Cu, Ag, O, no reaction. Reaction with acids metals plus dilute acid rightward arrow salt plus hydrogen gas. Cu does not react with dilute HCl. HNO3 usually does not release H2, strong oxidizing agent. Reaction with salt solutions more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its salt solution. 3 Reactivity series, high rightward arrow low, KNaCAMgLZNFAPBHCUHGAGO4. Ionic compounds formed by transfer of electrons from metals to nonmetals. Properties, O hard, brittle solids. O high melting/boiling points. O soluble in water. O conduct electricity in molten state or solution, not in solid. 5 Extraction of metals based on reactivity, low reactivity, Ag, O, Cu, Hg, found in free state. Oxides reduced by heating alone. Medium reactivity, Zn, Fe, Pb, ores rightward arrow roasting, sulfides/calcination, carbonates, rightward arrow oxides reduction using carbon or aluminium, thermite reaction. High reactivity, K, Na, Ca, Mg, Al, extracted by electrolysis of molten salts. 6. Refining of metals. Electrolytic refining used widely, Cu, Zn, Ag, O etc. Impure metal equals anode, pure metal equals cathode, metal salt equals electrolyte. Impurities form anode mud. 7. Corrosion. Slow reaction of metals with air and moisture. Examples: O iron rightward arrow rust, Fe2O3xH2O, O copper rightward arrow green coating, basic copper carbonate, O silver rightward arrow black coating, Ag2S. Prevention methods: painting, oiling, greasing, galvanization, coating with Zn, chrome plating, alloying, stainless steel. 8. Alloys. Homogeneous mixture of metals or metals plus nonmetals. Properties: improved, strength, hardness, resistance to corrosion. Examples: O brass equals Cu plus Zn, O bronze equals Cu plus Sn, O solder equals Pb plus Sn, O stainless steel equals Fe plus Ni plus Cro, 22 karat gold equals 22 parts gold plus 2 parts Cu/Ag9. Special note: Iron Pillar of Delhi, over 1,600 years old, shows ancient Indian expertise in corrosion-resistant metallurgy. Carbon and its compounds. Occurrence of carbon. Earth's crust contains 0.02% carbon, as carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, coal, petroleum. Atmosphere contains 0.03% CO2. Food, medicines, books, plastics, fuels, and all living organisms are carbon-based. Bonding in carbon. Covalent bond. Carbon compounds form covalent bonds. Rightward arrow no ions. Rightward arrow poor conductors of electricity. Covalent compounds have low melting and boiling points due to weak intermolecular forces. Single, double, and triple bonds are formed by sharing electron pairs. Examples: H2 rightward arrow single bond, O2 rightward arrow double bond, N2 rightward arrow triple bond. Methane, CH4. Carbon is tetravalent, 4 valence electrons. Shares electrons with 4 hydrogen atoms. Rightward arrow forms 4 single covalent bonds. Allotropes of carbon. 1. Diamond, each carbon bonded to 4 others. Rightward arrow 3D rigid structure. Hardest natural substance. Made synthetically at very high pressure and temperature. 2. Graphite, each carbon bonded to 3 others. Rightward arrow hexagonal layers. Soft, slippery. Good conductor of electricity, free electrons between layers. 3. Full Aaron's carbon atoms arranged like a football shape, example C60. Named after Buckminster Fuller. Versatile nature of carbon. 1. Catenation, ability to form long chains, branched chains, and rings. Unique to carbon due to strong C bonds. 2. Tetravalency, carbon forms stable bonds with H, O, N, S, Cl, etc. Small size. Rightward arrow strong bonding. Rightward arrow stability. Organic compounds. Carbon compounds originally thought to require a vital force. Wohler, 1828, disproved it by synthesizing urea. Saturated and unsaturated compounds. Saturated, only single C bonds, example ethane, propane. Unsaturated, contain double or triple bonds, example ethene, ethene. Chains, branches and rings. Carbon forms, O straight chains, O branched chains, O cyclic structures, example cyclohexane. Structural isomers, same molecular formula, different structures. Hydrocarbons. 1. Alkanes. Rightward arrow CnH2n plus 2, single bonds, 2. Alkenes. Rightward arrow CnH2n, double bonds, 3. Alkynes. Rightward arrow CnH2n2, triple bonds. Functional groups. Functional group type formula: halo, chloro/bromo, haloocane Cl, Br alcohol OLO aldehyde alkylketone 1C equals O carboxylic acid OIC acid COOH heteroatoms, O, N, S, Cl, Br, replace H and give special properties. Homologous series of compounds with O same functional group, O difference of CH2 unit, gradual change in physical properties, MP/BP, but similar chemical properties. Nomenclature, basic rules, prefix, functional group, example chloro, suffix, ending based on functional group, example OL, al, 1, examples, OCH3, CH2, Cl rightward arrow chloromethane OCH3, CH2, O rightward arrow ethanol OCH3, CH2, COOH rightward arrow propanoic acid. Chemical properties of carbon compounds. 1. Combustion carbon plus O2 rightward arrow CO2 plus heat plus light. Saturated hydrocarbons rightward arrow clean flame. Unsaturated rightward arrow yellow, sooty flame. Limited oxygen rightward arrow incomplete combustion. 2. Oxidation oxidizing agents, KMNO4, alkaline, K2CR2O7, acidic, alcohol rightward arrow acid. Example, ethanol rightward arrow ethanoic acid. 3. Addition reaction only in unsaturated hydrocarbons adds H2 in presence of Ni/PD. Catalyst used in hydrogenation of oils. 4. Substitution reaction occurs in saturated hydrocarbons. Example, CH4 plus Cl2 rightward arrow CH3Cl plus HCl, sunlight. Important carbon compounds. 1. Ethanol, C2H5O, colorless liquid, soluble in water. Used in medicines, perfumes, fuels. Reaction with Na rightward arrow sodium ethoxide plus H2 dehydration, 443 K, CONCH2 SO4 ethanol rightward arrow ethene plus water. Ethanol affects small quantity rightward arrow drunkenness. Large quantity rightward arrow depresses CNS. Methanol is highly poisonous, causes blindness/death. Industrial ethanol is denatured. 2. Ethanoic acid, CH3COOH, also called acetic acid. 5 to 8% solution equals vinegar. Pure ethanoic acid freezes at 290 K rightward arrow glacial acetic acid. Reactions. 1. Esterification, acid plus alcohol rightward arrow ester plus water. Sweet smell, perfumes, flavors. 2. With base, CH3COOH plus NaOH rightward arrow CH3COONA plus H2O3. With carbonates, CO2 gas evolves. Soaps and detergents. 1. What are soaps? Soaps are sodium or potassium salts of long-chain fatty acids. Example, sodium stearate, common soap. How soap is made. Saponification vegetable oil/fat plus NaOH/KOH, base, rightward arrow soap plus glycerol. This reaction is called saponification. 2. Cleansing action of soap. Soap has 2 parts, O hydrophobic tail, repels water, dissolves in oil/grease, O hydrophilic head, attracts water. How it removes dirt. 1. Soap molecules surround dirt/oil particles. 2. Tail dissolves the grease, head remains in water. 3. They form a micelle around the dirt. 4. On washing, micelles are lifted away. Rightward arrow cleansing action. 3. Micelles cluster of soap molecules in water. Hydrophobic tails point inward, towards oil. Hydrophilic heads point outward, towards water. 4. Soap in hard water. Hard water contains Ca2 and Mg2 ions. Soap reacts with these ions. Rightward arrow forms insoluble scum. Scum reduces lather and wastes soap. Hence, soap works poorly in hard water. 5. What are detergents? Detergents are ammonium or sulfonate salts of long-chain acids. Example, sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. Types. 1. Anionic detergents, most common. 2. Cationic detergents, used as germicides. 3. Non-ionic detergents, mild, used in shampoos. 6. Advantages of detergents: work well in hard water, do not form scum with Ca2 or Mg2. Stronger cleansing action. Can be used in acidic water also. 7. Disadvantages of detergents: some detergents are non-biodegradable. Rightward arrow cause water pollution. Can produce foam in rivers/lakes, environmental concern. 8. Difference between soap and detergent. Feature: soap detergent. Basic structure: sodium/potassium salt of fatty acid sulfonate or ammonium salt. Action: in hard water poor, forms scum, good, no scum. Cleansing power: moderate strong. Biodegradability: usually biodegradable, some are non-biodegradable. Source: oil/fats, natural, mainly petrochemicals, synthetic. 9. Why are detergents preferred over soaps? Do not form scum. Effective in both soft and hard water. Better performance in modern washing machines. Clean even in cold water. Periodic classification of elements. 1. Early attempts: metals and nonmetals. First simple classification of known elements. 2. Dobereiner's triads, 1817, elements grouped in triads, 3 elements with similar properties. When arranged in increasing atomic mass, the atomic mass of the middle element average of the other two. Example: Li, 6.9, Na, 23, K, 39. Limitations: only a few triads could be formed. 3. Newland's law of octaves, 1866, elements arranged in increasing atomic mass. Every eighth element had properties similar to the first rightward arrow, like musical octaves. Worked well only up to calcium. Limitations: assumed only 56 elements existed. Placed dissimilar elements together, example Co, Ni with halogens. Failed after discovery of noble gases. 4. Mendeleev's periodic table, 1869, elements arranged by increasing atomic mass. Classified based on similar chemical properties, especially oxides/hydrides. Periodic law: properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic masses. Achievements: left gaps for undiscovered elements and predicted their properties, ecaluminium rightward arrow gallium. Correct placement of some elements despite atomic mass irregularities. Noble gases added later without disturbing the table. Limitations: position of hydrogen uncertain. Could not explain isotopes, same properties, different masses. Atomic mass irregularities remained. 5. Modern periodic table based on atomic number, Z, Moseley, 1913. Modern periodic law: properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic numbers. Structure: 18 groups, vertical, 7 periods, horizontal, elements in the same group rightward arrow same valence electrons. Elements in the same period rightward arrow same number of shells. Periodicity based on shells: maximum electrons in a shell equals 2n superscript 2o first period rightward arrow 2 elements o second period rightward arrow 8o third rightward arrow 8o fourth and fifth rightward arrow 18o sixth and seventh rightward arrow 32 6. Trends in the modern periodic table: A. Valency depends on number of valence electrons. Across a period rightward arrow increases, 1 to 4, then decreases, 4 to 0. Down a group rightward arrow remains same. B. Atomic size, atomic radius, across a period, decreases, greater nuclear charge pulls electrons closer. Down a group, increases, new shells added. C. Metallic and non-metallic character: metals, tendency to lose electrons. O. Across a period rightward arrow decreases, O. Down a group rightward arrow increases, non-metals, tendency to gain electrons. O. Across a period rightward arrow increases, O. Down a group rightward arrow decreases. A zigzag line separates metals and nonmetals. Elements on the border rightward arrow: metalloids, B, Si, Ge, As, Sb, Te, Po. Oxides of metals rightward arrow basic. Oxides of nonmetals rightward arrow acidic. Life processes. Life processes are the essential activities that keep an organism alive. These processes require energy, which organisms obtain from the environment. Nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which organisms take in food and utilize it to obtain energy, growth, and maintenance. Modes of nutrition. 1. Autotrophic nutrition: organisms prepare their own food through photosynthesis. Photosynthesis equation: 6-2 plus 1-2-2 sunlight, chlorophyll rightward arrow 6-12 6 plus 6-2 plus 6-2 steps in photosynthesis 1. Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll 2. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy and splitting of water 3. Reduction of CO2 to carbohydrates. Stomata. Tiny pores on leaf surface guard cells regulate opening and closing, allow exchange of gases, CO2 and O2, other raw materials. Plants absorb nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium etc. from soil. Nitrogen is needed for proteins and is absorbed as nitrates/nitrites too. Heterotrophic nutrition. Organisms depend on others for food. Types: saprophytic, fungi like bread mold, mushrooms. Holozoic, animals, food digested inside the body. Parasitic, organisms like Cuscuta, lice, leeches. Nutrition in amoeba uses pseudopodia, false feet, food engulfed. Rightward arrow forms food vacuole. Rightward arrow digested. Rightward arrow undigested food expelled. Nutrition in paramecium has a definite shape. Cilia sweep food into the oral groove. Nutrition in human beings. Alimentary canal long tube from mouth to anus. Mouth teeth, chewing and grinding. Saliva, contains salivary amylase. Rightward arrow converts starch to sugar. Esophagus. Peristalsis pushes food to stomach. Stomach. Gastric glands secrete OHCl. Rightward arrow acidic medium. O. Pepsin. Rightward arrow digests proteins. O. Mucus. Rightward arrow protects stomach lining. Small intestine longest part, site of complete digestion. Receives O. Bile, from liver. Emulsifies fats. O. Pancreatic juice, trypsin, proteins, lipase, fats. O. Intestinal juice, completes digestion. Villi. Increase surface area for absorption. Large intestine absorbs water, forms faces. Dental caries caused by acids produced by bacteria acting on sugars leads to enamel decay prevented by brushing and oral hygiene. Respiration. Types of respiration. 1. Aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria. Glucose. Rightward arrow CO2 plus H2O plus energy 2. Anaerobic respiration occurs in yeast. Glucose. Rightward arrow ethanol plus CO2 plus energy 3. Muscle respiration when oxygen is insufficient. Pyruvate. Rightward arrow lactic acid. Rightward arrow causes cramps. ADP, energy currency of the cell. Energy from respiration stored as ADP. Breaking ADP releases 30.5 kJ/mol. Respiration in human beings. Parts: nostrils. Rightward arrow trachea. Rightward arrow bronchi. Rightward arrow bronchioles. Rightward arrow alveoli. Mechanism: air enters through nose, filtered by hairs and mucus. Cartilage rings keep trachea open. Alveoli, site of gas exchange. Breathing involves O. Inhalation, ribs lift, diaphragm flattens. O. Exhalation, ribs fall, diaphragm relaxes. Hemoglobin. Respiratory pigment present in RBC. High affinity for oxygen. Smoking affects destroys cilia. Causes lung infections and cancer. Risk of heart disease. Transportation. Transportation in humans. Blood transports oxygen, nutrients, and wastes. Blood components. Plasma, transport medium. RBC, oxygen transport. WBC, defense. Platelets, clotting heart. 4 chambers, LA, LV, RA, RV ensures separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Ventricles have thicker walls. Valves prevent backflow. Double circulation. Blood passes through heart twice in one cycle. Rightward arrow efficient oxygen transport. Blood pressure measured using sphygmomanometer. Normal, 120/80 mmHg. High BP equals hypertension. Blood vessels. Arteries, thick walls, carry blood away from heart. Veins, thin walls, valves, bring blood to heart. Capillaries, 1 cell thick for exchange of materials. Lymph, clear fluid that drains excess tissue fluid. Carries fats from intestine. Transportation in plants. Xylem conducts water and minerals. Moves water via 1 root pressure. 2. Transpiration. Pull. Transpiration. Loss of water through stomata helps in cooling and upward movement of water flow. M. Transports food, sucrose, amino acids. Direction, upward and downward. Requires ADP. Excretion. Excretion in humans. Organs, kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, urethra. Nephron, functional unit of kidney. Bowman's capsule plus glomerulus. Filtration. Rightward arrow reabsorption. Rightward arrow urine formation. Dialysis. Artificial kidney removes waste if kidneys fail. Excretion in plants. O2 from photosynthesis is a waste. Excess water removed by transpiration. Other waste stored in vacuoles, bark, leaves. Control and coordination. 1. Introduction: multicellular organisms need control and coordination to function smoothly. Animals use nervous system plus endocrine system. Plants use hormones plus growth movements. A control and coordination in animals too. Nervous system, animals, receptors, specialized nerve endings in sense organs. O gustatory receptors, rightward arrow taste. O olfactory receptors, rightward arrow smell. Nerve impulse transmission stimulus, rightward arrow dendrite, rightward arrow cell body, rightward arrow axon, rightward arrow axon terminal. At synapse, impulse transmitted by chemical neurotransmitters. 3. Reflex action, immediate, automatic response to a stimulus. Controlled by spinal cord, not the brain. Pathway is called a reflex arc. 4. Human brain protected by skull and cerebrospinal fluid. Central nervous system, CNS, equals brain plus spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system, PNS, equals cranial plus spinal nerves. Parts of brain 1. 4. Brain. O thinking, reasoning, memory. O controls voluntary actions. O contains hunger/thirst centers. 2. Midbrain. O controls some reflexes, I, head movement. 3. Hindbrain. O cerebellum, rightward arrow posture, balance, precise movements. O medulla, rightward arrow involuntary actions, heartbeat, breathing, vomiting. 5. How nervous system causes action? Muscles contract due to special proteins that change shape when an impulse arrives. Muscle contraction equals shortening of muscle cells. B. Control and coordination in plants. 6. Movements in plants. Plants do not have nerves/muscles but show two types of movement. A. Non-growth movements, nastic, immediate response, no growth involved. Example: touch me not, mimosa, closing leaves. Caused by change in water content of cells. B. Growth movements, tropic, slow, directional, due to growth. Types: phototropism, rightward arrow shoot bends towards light, root bends away. Geotropism, rightward arrow root downward, shoot upward. Chemotropism, rightward arrow pollen tube grows towards ovule. 7. Plant hormones. 1. Auxin. O promotes cell elongation. O accumulates on shady side, rightward arrow bending towards light. 2. Gibberellins. O stimulates stem growth. 3. Cytokinins. O promote cell division. O more in fruits and seeds. 4. Abscisic acid, ABA, O inhibits growth, causes wilting. O stress hormone. See hormones in animals, endocrine system. 8. Adrenaline, fight or flight hormone. Increases heartbeat, breathing, blood supply to muscles. 9. Thyroxine, made by thyroid gland, requires iodine. Regulates metabolism of carbs, proteins, fats. Deficiency, rightward arrow goitre. 10. Growth hormone, pituitary, controls body growth. Deficiency, rightward arrow dwarfism. 11. Sex hormones, testosterone, males, rightward arrow beard, voice changes. Estrogen, females, rightward arrow menstrual cycle, body changes at puberty. 12. Insulin, pancreas, controls blood sugar level. Low insulin, rightward arrow high blood sugar, diabetes. Controlled by feedback mechanism. How do organisms reproduce? 1. Do organisms create exact copies? Reproduction requires copying the DNA, genetic blueprint. DNA copying is accurate but not perfect. Rightward arrow variations occur. Variations help organisms survive environmental changes. DNA is passed to daughter cells during cell division. 2. Importance of variation ensures survival of species when environment changes. Helps organisms adapt to new niches. Variations accumulate over generations. Rightward arrow basis of evolution. 3. Modes of reproduction in organisms. A. Asexual reproduction, I. Fission. Unicellular organisms divide into 2 or more individuals. Binary fission, amoeba, leishmania. Multiple fission, plasmodium. 2. Budding. New organism develops from a bud. Example: hydra, yeast. 3. Fragmentation, body breaks into fragments, rightward arrow, each grows into new organism. Example, Spirogyra. 4. Regeneration, organism regrows from body parts. Example, Hydra, Planaria. V. Vegetative propagation, plants, new plants from roots, stems, leaves. Examples, Bryophyllum, potato, sugarcane, rose. Produces genetically identical plants. Faster reproduction. 6. Spore formation, fungi like Rhizopus produce spores in sporangia. 4. Sexual reproduction involves two parents, rightward arrow, fusion of male and female gametes. Creates more variations than asexual reproduction. Why sexual reproduction? Combines DNA from two individuals, rightward arrow, genetic diversity. Maintains chromosome number in species. 5. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants, stamen equals male part, rightward arrow, produces pollen grains. Pistil equals female part, rightward arrow, contains ovary, style, stigma. Fertilization, fusion of pollen, male, with ovule, female. Pollination, transfer of pollen, self or cross. After fertilization, O ovule, rightward arrow, seed, O ovary, rightward arrow, fruit, seed germinates to form a new plant. 6. Reproduction in humans, a male reproductive system, testes, produce sperm and testosterone. Scrotum, keeps testes cooler. Vas deferens, transports sperm. Prostate and seminal vesicles, add fluid to sperm. Urethra, common passage for urine and semen. B. Female reproductive system, ovaries, produce eggs and hormones. Fallopian tubes, site of fertilization. Uterus, embryo development. Placenta, provides oxygen and nutrients to foetus. Process 1. Sperm plus egg fuse, rightward arrow, zygote. 2. Zygote divides, rightward arrow, embryo. 3. Embryo implants in uterus, rightward arrow, develops into foetus. 4. Pregnancy lasts about 9 months. 7. Menstruation, if egg is not fertilized, uterine lining breaks and comes out as blood. Cycle repeats every 28 days. 8. Reproductive health, sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, bacterial, gonorrhea, syphilis, viral, HIV/AIDS, warts prevention, condoms, contraception methods. 1. Barrier methods, condoms. 2. Hormonal methods, oral pills. 3. IUDs, copper T placed in uterus. 4. Surgical methods, ovasectomy, male, otubectomy, female, heredity and evolution. 1. Accumulation of variation, offspring inherit the basic body design plus small differences. Asexual reproduction, rightward arrow, very little variation, only copying errors. Sexual reproduction, rightward arrow, more variation because genes mix. Variations may provide advantages in survival. 2. Heredity, offspring resemble parents because traits are inherited. Traits equals characteristics like eye color, height, earlobes. Mendel discovered rules of inheritance using pea plants. 3. Mendel's rules of inheritance, monohybrid cross, tall times short, F1 generation, all tall, rightward arrow, tall is dominant, short is recessive. F2 generation, 3 tall, 1 short. Organisms have 2 copies of genes, alleles TT, tall, TT, short. Dihybrid cross traits, height and seed shape, are inherited independently. F2 shows new combinations like tall, wrinkled or short, round. 4. How traits are expressed, DNA stores information to make proteins. A gene is a DNA segment for one protein. Each parent contributes one chromosome, offspring receive pairs. Gametes have half the chromosomes and restore number on fertilization. 5. Sex determination, reptiles, depends on temperature. Snails, can change sex. Humans, genetically determined O female, XXO male, XY mother always gives X, father gives X or Y, rightward arrow decides sex of child. 6. Evolution and types of traits. Variations occur due to DNA errors and sexual reproduction. Acquired traits not inherited, example reduced weight due to starvation. Inherited traits passed through DNA changes in germ cells, example green beetles. 7. Darwin's theory of evolution. New species arise due to variations plus natural selection. Useful variations help organisms survive and reproduce. Life evolved from simple to complex forms. 8. Origin of life. J.B.S. Haldane, life formed from simple inorganic molecules on early Earth. Miller, Urey experiment, produced amino acids in lab simulated early Earth conditions. 9. Microevolution. Small changes within a species over time, example color changes in beetles. 10. Speciation. Formation of new species due to O variation, O isolation, especially geographical, O genetic drift. 11. Evolution and classification. Common features, characteristics, show relatedness. More similarities. Rightward arrow. More closely related. Rightward arrow. More recent. Common ancestors. Examples of classification levels: O cells with / without nucleus, O photosynthetic or not, O skeleton type, internal / external. 12. Tracing evolutionary relationships. Homologous organs, same basic structure, different functions. Show common ancestry. Example, forelimbs of humans, birds, reptiles. Analogous organs, same function, different structure. Indicate different origins. Example, batwing vs birdwing. 13. Fossils. Preserved remains or impressions of dead organisms. Deeper fossils. Rightward arrow. Older organisms. Used to trace evolutionary sequence. 14. Evolution by stages. Complex organs, like eyes, evolved gradually. Structures may develop for one function but later adapted for another, example feathers. Rightward arrow. Warmth. Rightward arrow. Flight. Birds evolved from reptiles, dinosaurs with feathers. 15. Molecular phylogeny. More DNA differences. Rightward arrow. More distant relation. DNA analysis helps trace evolutionary relationships. 16. Evolution is not equal to progress. Evolution does not move from lower to higher organisms. Simple organisms, bacteria, still thrive. Evolution equals diversification, not progress. 17. Human evolution studied through fossils plus DNA. Humans, Homo sapiens, evolved in Africa. Migrated across the world over time. Skin color differences evolved due to environmental adaptation. All humans belong to one species. Our environment. 1. Ecosystem. An ecosystem includes all living organisms, plants, animals, microbes, and non-living components, air, water, soil, temperature. Biotic components, producers, consumers, decomposers. Abiotic components, light, temperature, wind, water, minerals. Components. Producers, green plants and some bacteria, make food via photosynthesis. Consumers, depend on other organisms for food, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, parasites. Decomposers, bacteria and fungi, break down dead organisms into simple substances reused by plants. 2. Food chain. A sequence of organisms where each feeds on the previous one. Trophic level, each step in a food chain. O first level. Rightward arrow. Producers. O second level. Rightward arrow. Primary consumers, herbivores. O third level. Rightward arrow. Secondary consumers, small carnivores. O fourth level. Rightward arrow. Tertiary consumers, large carnivores. Energy flow. Energy flows unidirectionally from sun. Rightward arrow. Plants. Rightward arrow. Animals. Rightward arrow. Decomposers. Plants capture 1% sunlight. Only 10% energy is passed to the next trophic level, 10% law. Energy decreases sharply at higher trophic levels. Rightward arrow. Usually only 3 to 4 levels exist. 3. Food web. Several interconnected food chains form a food web. Shows that one organism may be eaten by many others. 4. Biological magnification. Non-degradable chemicals, pesticides, DDT, accumulate progressively at higher trophic levels. Maximum concentration is found in humans, top consumers. 5. Ozone layer. Ozone, O3, in the stratosphere protects us from harmful UV radiation. Formed by action of UV on oxygen, O2. Depletion caused by CFCs used in refrigerators, ACS, fire extinguishers. Global Action 1987, Montreal Protocol by UNEP. Rightward arrow agreement to reduce and eliminate CFCs. 6. Waste management. Biodegradable waste broken down by biological processes. Examples: food waste, paper, wood, cloth, plant waste. Non-biodegradable waste cannot be broken down by microbes, persist in the environment for long periods. Examples: plastics, glass, metals, synthetic chemicals. Sustainable management of natural resources. 1. Concept of sustainability. India's traditional belief, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning the whole earth is one family. Sustainable living means using resources carefully so they last for future generations. 2. Ganga Action Plan and Water Pollution. Ganga Action Plan, 1985, started due to high pollution levels. Coliform bacteria in water shows contamination by human waste. Ganga is polluted by sewage, garbage, industries, and cities along its 2500 km course. Namami Ganj Program, 2014, aims at cleaning and rejuvenating the river. 3. The 5 R's. 1. Refuse, say no to harmful products, example single-use plastics. 2. Reduce, use less water, electricity, etc. 3. Reuse, use items repeatedly. 4. Repurpose, use old items for new purposes. 5. Recycle, convert waste materials into usable products. 4. Why resource management is needed. Natural resources are limited and demand is increasing due to population growth. Must be used fairly and conserved for future generations. Mining causes pollution, waste must be handled safely. 5. Forests and wildlife. Forests are biodiversity hotspots. Conservation aims at protecting all species for ecological balance. Stakeholders, local people, government, forest department, industries, and conservationists. Example of community conservation, Bishnois of Rajasthan. Amrita Devi Bishnoi Award honors wildlife conservation efforts. Overexploitation for industries, tourism, and development harms forests. Chipko movement. 1970s movement in Garhwal, where villagers, especially women, hugged trees to prevent cutting. Arabari model, West Bengal, involving villagers in protecting sal forests led to successful regeneration. 6. Water for all problems. Reduction in groundwater due to deforestation, overuse, pollution. Traditional water system. Schools, Himachal, Yohuds, Rajasthan, Bandhara/Tals, Maharashtra, Aras, Tamil Nadu, etc. Dams provide irrigation and electricity but cause, O. social issues, displacement, O. economic issues, high cost, O. environmental issues, deforestation, biodiversity loss. 7. Water harvesting includes local methods like yohuds, tanks, bundis, ahars, surangams, kuttas. Main purpose, recharge groundwater, not store surface water. Prevents evaporation, improves soil moisture, supports vegetation. Dr. Rajendra Singh built 8,600 water structures and revived 1,000 villages. Rightward arrow. 1. Stockholm Water Prize, 2015. 8. Coal and petroleum. Fossil fuels formed from biomass millions of years ago. Rightward arrow. Non-renewable. Petroleum may last 40 years, coal 200 years. Burning fossil fuels releases, CO2, global warming, OCO, poisonous, SO2 and NOx, acid rain and health hazards. Increased CO2 leads to global warming. Thank you for joining today's session. Remember, knowledge grows when shared. Stay inspired and keep learning.